Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. Not knowing what to do with your hands, or going for a handshake, or a fist bump, or a high five, forgetting someone's name in the middle of the conversation, but now it's been too long in the middle of the conversation, so you can't really ask them, it would be too weird. These are all awkward moments. We've all been there many times in our lives. It makes us uncomfortable, cringe. It's a horrible situation for some as well. But have you ever stopped to think, what exactly is awkwardness? Today, I will try to shed some light on the science behind awkwardness. And then, I will provide you with 2 ways that we can help to reduce this awkwardness load on our heads and on our bodies in 2020. Now, awkwardness is the finest tool of our social interactions. It helps to smooth and sand out our social dynamics in a way that manners and etiquette doesn't really teach you. There's no rule and there's no law that tells you how long you need to wait before you tell someone that, hey, there's something stuck in your teeth. It's not really set in stone. Now, going through these awkward moments or embarrassing things in a social situation is, as I mentioned, quite horrendous for some people. But it is a learning opportunity for your brain. Because what happens is later on, you become more socially aware. You remember all the bad things that may have happened, and you think, hey, I know a good way to avoid those. It's similar to how when you touch a hot stove and you pull away, or when you get a parking ticket and you get a fine. Maybe I should be more careful next time and look at the signs. In the same way, our brains adapt to these consequences. Now, some people may also think that awkwardness is completely separate from pain. But researchers have found that awkwardness and embarrassing moments and physical pain are processed with the exact same neural pathways. That is incredible. That means that breaking social standards and breaking your bones are looked at the exact same way from your brain. I find that fascinating. Now, a huge thing that comes with awkwardness is not just with your brain, but also with your body. The sympathetic nervous response, the fight or flight response that happens when you have a physical threat right in front of you. You need to run or fight. Now, this also happens in awkward and potentially embarrassing situations when you're giving a speech to a large crowd, right? Or you're in public and there's lots of people looking at you. And you might trip on a step. Or you're on a first date and you don't really know what to say. Oh man. Awkward silence. Your blood pressure rises, causing you to overheat and sweat. Your breathing rate increases, diverting your blood flow away from your digestive system to your major organs, your brain, your lungs, your heart. You start feeling nausea, butterflies in your stomach. Your body starts to have that instinctive fetal protective position response. Your body contracts, but you fight it. You try and act natural to expand your body out. And this leads to your arms and your legs shaking with nervousness. I'm sure this sounds very familiar to most of you, but don't worry, it's not your fault. Take it easy. Clearly, our brains and our bodies are out to get us, right? They're betraying us. They're the reason why we are sitting down, minding our own business, and we think, oh man, I just remember that one time, 10 months, 7 weeks, 4 days, 3 hours ago, when I said that really awkward thing about my colleague's hair.
Yeah.
Oh no. There's a reason why we fixate on these things. Science explains that to us as well. Our brains make negative social interactions more salient. They stand out more in our memories for that reason I mentioned before, to learn from them. It's kind of like in school when they teach us, take this moment as a learning opportunity when you're sitting in the principal's office. Just me? All right. Now, there may be a way around this fixation. You see, sometimes you might think to yourself, oh, I remember that time. Why was I so unsure, so unconfident, so awkward? If I'm thinking about these things, they probably remember it too. This replays in my head over and over. I'm sure they remember all these things I did awkwardly too, right? Wrong. A huge important factor to consider is perspective. Now let's reframe our perspective with 2 ways to address these awkward moments. Number 1, understanding the spotlight effect. Kind of like that. So I will stand right here. The spotlight effect is most well explained by a very old and famous quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. What she says is, you wouldn't worry as much what others think of you if you realized how seldom they do. What this essentially means is that people are not concerned about what you did 10 months, whatever ago. They're more concerned about themselves. They're thinking about how you are perceived by them, and more importantly, how they perceive themselves. So remember that the next time you're going about and you have an awkward slip-up, or you say something quite bizarre. Now, another quote that's quite famous is, in your early life, you worry about what everybody's thinking about you. Oh man, am I going to impress that person? I really need that job. In your midlife, you are more lighthearted. You feel less obligated to impress people. You still think about here and there what people are thinking of you. And in your late life, you realize, hey, they weren't even thinking about me that much. What was I so concerned about? Now, it doesn't matter what stage of life you're in. You can be ages 0 to 100. We should all just take it easy. Everything's going to be okay. And that leads me to my second point. Understanding the inevitability of these awkward moments. They're just bound to happen. No matter how confident, driven, sociable you are, it's going to happen to you at one point or another. It's just a normal part of life. We are all human beings. After all, we make mistakes. We slip up from time to time. And that's okay. Accepting this fact and being at ease with it will make you more confident in these social interactions and make you be willing to face the music and say, oh, that's okay. It was just a common mistake. I was going for a handshake, they were going for a fist bump. No worries, no harm done. Relieve the tension. Be more lighthearted. Live in the present. Don't think about the past. Be in the moment and enjoy your social interactions. Now, to wrap things up, always consider your perspective. Always consider how you're approaching a moment. You have two choices. A, be high-strung, be like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Or B, take it easy. It's okay. We all slip up from time to time. So the next time you're going out, make a pledge. Do you remember the two things? Understanding the spotlight effect and accepting the inevitability of awkward moments. I'll leave you with this. The next time, for instance, you're at a movie theater, and the guy says to you, here you go, sir, here's your popcorn, please enjoy the movie. When I say, and when some of you may have also said, oh, thanks, you too. Oh, that's so awkward. Don't worry about it. Bye, Toastmasters.